I wear a tinfoil crown, it's shiny and bright, deflecting the beams from satellites. They won't read my mind, not tonight. The moon's just a lamp, the earth ain't round. They whisper my name, but they'll never track me down. I am the king of conspiracy land, with a scepter of questions and a shield in my hand. Bow to the throne, it's all been planned. I wear my tin foil crown. I'm the king of this land. I'm the king of this land. They said I was crazy, a little unhinged, but I see the truth through the government fringe. Black helicopters, yeah, they make me cringe. They're hiding the truth, it's all in the sand. Area 51, just part of the grandstand. I am the king of conspiracy land, with a scepter of questions and a shield in my hand. Bow to the throne, it's all been planned. I wear my tinfoil crown. I'm the king of this land.
I am the king of conspiracy land. That's a good one. ASM Future, he did it again. Oh, coffee's so good. So about 5 years ago, I did a crop circle video. Again, about 6 months ago, I touched up on it on the orbs. We were talking about the orbs and agroglyphs, these geometric crop patterns. They came up because we now have actual footage of the orbs creating the crop circles. But that's not what this video is about. That's just tangential information. We have to study, we have to examine the entire crop circle phenomenon through the lens of everything that we have already pretty much accepted to be true. Remember, in archaics, everything must fit. We cannot shelve data simply because it's anomalous. Everything fits. But in order to make everything fit into the historical and the record of our experiences, reality itself, we've had to abandon models that were not serving us. You guys know I'm a real big critic of uniformitarianism. It is a model designed to trap the intellect in a box. And this is why these guys, they get so frustrated with me. I get a hate mail, guys. Yeah, you got people that want to come on my channel and try to educate you guys that I'm wrong and that evolution is true, natural selection is true, relative dating methods actually do work. They want to gaslight the shit out of you, but I'm always blocking them. I'm not trying to hear it. I block. You know, you come, you stay ass. You've got on your side of the Rubicon is a massive, it's just a massive amount of funding, billions of dollars to promote this bullshit. And you're worried about little old me? I don't even have a sponsor. What are you worried about me for? Because it's the truth. They don't like that shit. When I start dropping those bombs on them, showing them uniformitarian relative dating methods are all BS. Yeah, they're all. Dinosaurs, all BS. Large reptiles, large amphibians, and very recently, hell yeah. But that 65 million year old dinosaur shit, you guys know, Not in this house. So, if you think that you know everything about agroglyphs and the crop circle phenomenon, I'm going to beg to differ. I'm pretty sure I can educate you on some things and concepts you have not yet heard. Additionally, when we're dealing with the crop circle phenomenon, it's already been hijacked. A narrative was laid out for you that, from a limited scope of analysis, the narrative that was laid out for you makes sense if you accept that model. And what I'm talking about is that the extraterrestrial alien visitors, the ancient aliens scenario was already put in the field since the 1920s and 30s and 40s and carefully laid out for you to explain anything anomalous that might appear in the world of experience, the world of phenomena. So you would always have something to default to. And many psyops were conducted like Hangar 18 at Area 51. There's been, in many, many ways, the whole apparatus of deceit has carefully laid out rabbit trails, because it knows some of you will accept this, but you won't accept this. Others will accept Galactic Federation and Pleiadians interfering in human affairs. Apparently, Greg Ike's on that team. Not Greg. David Icke is on that team. I just found this out. I didn't even know he's associated with those people. But that's neither here nor there. What I'm going to show you in this video is direct evidence that the crop circle phenomenon has nothing to do with aliens and extraterrestrials, but has everything to do with the exact same phenomenon that we have found all over the world, and it has always been inexplicable. Let me explain something to you. In Australia, there is a giant effigy of a man. Huge! Australian government officially denies its existence, but it was there. It's been photographed, and now they've bulldozed it. But I have pictures. I've showed it to you on my channel. Gigantic effigy of a man, just like what's it, the Long Man of Wilmington and the horse in the UK, and the CERN giant on CERN Hill. These are huge effigies, but they're designed to face the sky, just like the Nazca effigies, the Nazca lines that go all these different directions. We're not looking at things correctly because the boxes, traps have all been laid out for us. But ancient man believed he was observed, and he believed that the observers were in the sky. And when ancient man had a need, ancient man went to work and built an effigy mound, a serpent mound swallowing an egg. These had meanings to ancient man, and ancient man thought that this mode of communication would be well received by the watchers, by those who were observing the affairs of men. And they always thought it was in the sky. And they drew gigantic pictures that from the ground you cannot see. You can't see the detail of the Nazca lines on the Bolivian Altiplano. It's just too high. I mean, it's so flat up there, and they're so spread out. When you're in the spider formation, you can't tell you're in a spider formation. It's too big. But somebody in the sky can see it clearly. So we have evidence that something on the outside of the construct is manipulating phenomena inside the construct. We don't have to go into those details in this video, because in this video we have already, on this channel, we have already done 2 full presentations showing that the orbs appear inside tsunamis when they crash ashore, inside volcanoes when they're erupting, in the hottest part of of wildfires out in the wilderness, the orbs are seen. The orbs have been documented inside the funnels of tornadoes, hurricanes, all kinds of weird, real bad thunderstorm and electrical storms. The orbs have been seen as Foo Fighters. They appear when men are killing each other in the sky. The orbs seem to create or nullify phenomena. They are big in the literature of mass vanishings, human disappearances, alien abduction phenomenon. The orbs are the only common denominator linking all this phenomena. This is what we've shown in Archaics. Further, I have gone further and shown you direct evidence that the orbs are acting like rangefinders. They can almost solidify and look like a UFO to those who are observing them. But in their purest form, they're just a sphere of energy, but they act with intelligence. But they themselves are too erratic, too high speed. They move erratically. And it's almost as if an intelligence at a great distance is looking into a snow globe with a pin light and trying to hone in on stuff. And it's like a technological pin light that if he can just get that light close to somebody, he can open up a convergence field and pull men and materials right out of that snow globe. So this has already been shown in Archaics. We're not going, but I need to remind you that we've covered these topics before about the orbs, because it's the orbs that are making the crop circles, as we've shown. So before I begin the actual crop circle data, I'm just going to show those video clips so new people will be on board and understand, oh shit, Jason is claiming he's already got presentations showing that orbs are creating tsunamis, volcanic activity, earthquake activity, badass thunderstorms, the alien abduction phenomenon. The orbs are responsible for all this shit. So if they're responsible for the crop circles too, we have to take it into consideration, because what I'm going to show you in this video makes sense only if the orbs as rangefinders and some type of hyperdimensional technology that is being used outside the construct. Those of us that are inside the construct, we see the operation of this technology as an orb. We see it. We're the creatures that are confined, and we see this badass technology as a little glowing orb. But what it really is, we don't know. But it has multiple functions, and we're already dealing with tertiary, quaternary, and convergence fields. And this is what crop circles seem to be, created by very specific programmed fields. Let me show these videos before we get into the crop circle data. It's very old. Don't think crop circles are anything new, but something recently happened. I'm going to show you in this video that there was an exchange of information, and that crop circles are something on the outside of the construct trying to communicate to those of us on the inside of the construct. I'm going to show you direct evidence that there has been communication. We can call it contact. And that there are people inside the construct that are now in communication with those on the outside of the construct. And the mode of communication can be seen in the crop circle development, how it fundamentally changed from geometrical patterns to very specific codes. I'm going to show it all to you in this video. All right. Let's see. Where's those clips at? So I know about 60 of you, 70 of you already got your packages. I got a stack of tracking receipts like this. I know I got a bunch of emails thanking me. Listen, I put a lot of extra stuff in them, even if you just ordered drives. It's I took care. Don't ask for merchandise anymore. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. I still have drives, and I've been mailing those out. And those of you who sent me emails today, don't get frustrated. I normally answer all my emails within 2 or 3 hours, but today I've been working on stuff. So I will get your emails this evening. All right, man. Yeah, this is gonna be an awesome. This is gonna be awesome. Awesome little presentation here. So let's look at the orbs connected to the agroglyphs, because it's definitely something we need is on the table here. All right. We'll go through these one at a time. Here are 5 clips. I'm only showing you guys so you'll understand. If you want more information, I've got 2 previous presentations on orbs and everything they've been documented to do in the human experience. We do not live in the world that you were told we live in. All this phenomena, all these natural disasters, all the mass human disappearances, huge forest fires. Oh, they were seen over the LA fire. They were seen going through the flames in LA. All these orbs are everywhere. When there's all kinds of geomagnetic, all kinds of earth changes, disasters, and the alien abduction phenomenon is rife with orb folklore. You can see an orb right there. The guy's filming the orb right there. The orb is passing over after the crop circle was already there. Not a good example, but it is an example that those orbs are hanging out. There it is. You can see it clearly now. Why those orbs are hanging out near those crop circles. Thank you, Bradley Long. Sunshine. Yeah, see, there's another crop circle there. Not a really good video. It doesn't show it making a crop circle. It just shows them flying over them. Helicopter following that orb. It's crazy. Thank you, Jake. Yeah, I get it, Tigor. A lot of people have better footage than I do. It's not really the subject matter of this video, the orbs. But it doesn't. But I do need to remind my community that the orbs are connected to all this other phenomena, but they're also connected to the crop circle. So it kind of changes exactly what they are. I believe they're like a hyperdimensional technology being used by those observers outside the construct, and they can use this technology, and it manipulates phenomena and events, and it can move men and materials. It can create temporal convergence fields. Yeah. Let me give you an example. All around me right now is a temporal field. Let me get to the next video. Hold on. I'm going to remove that one. All around me right now is a field. It's whatever field you and I are in right now. I call it the Terran field. So when Phoenix comes, it creates a tertiary field, because the Terran field is now the intruder field is Phoenix. Well, the overlaying field in the middle, which forms like the Vesica Pisces, that is a tertiary field made of two different mathematical constructs that are now forming a cohesion, a cohesive field, basically a cohesive field. So when the stronger arithmetic, whoever's in the tertiary field, if you're still in the field of Terra, you're okay. You may experience phenomena, you may see some crazy shit, but if you're in the tertiary, the overlap point, if you're in center of the Vesica Pisces, when the stronger field pulls away, you're going with it. It takes you with it. You're in that field. So this is the alien abduction phenomenon. All right. Here's the next one.
Controversial film appears to show strange objects hovering above a cornfield. Below, complex circle formations appear.
Well, I'm pretty sure all those sounds and all those noises weren't there, but that's pretty good. 5 orbs are right here in this picture, making this complex form. So let's go to the third video clip so we can move on.
You know what's been on my mind? Crop circles. I love a good crop circle picture. I also love a good UFO video, but how awesome would it be if we can get both in one? Well, you're in for a treat. This video was shot in Wiltshire, England in July 2010, and it's got nearly 500,000 views on YouTube. Aliens must really like England for some reason because the country is like the motherland of UFOs and crop circles. Did you know that 90% of all crop circles come from England? Yeah, I didn't either. Thanks, Wikipedia. Anyways. So, it's nighttime and these people behind the cameras are in the crops and everything is normal until a weird light source appears. And there are a couple of them, not just one. And we just watched these little UFOs float around, doing their thing for a while. I don't know if it's just me, but they look like little Japanese lanterns in this video. Okay, fast forward, it's morning, and the same group of people go back to the site where, surprise, surprise, a crop circle was discovered. The lady filming the video comments that the design is very intricate and very large in scale. What's interesting is, as you can see, the crops are all bent and not cut. This is important because it would take a lot of effort to bend the crops and to make them stay that way. And after a while of just looking at how intricately the crops are arranged, all of that, definitely awesome.
Right.
What, the most inefficient way ever if you want to get a job done.
All right, I'm sorry. I can go the rest of my life without ever listening to her again. I'm done with that. Just the facts, ma'am. All right, let's get the next one. Oliver's Castle, England, August 11th, 1996. 1996 is the critical date when there seems to be an exchange of information for the first time. You're going to see it. I'm going to show it to you in this video. Look at this orb going across those contrails. What? Cameraman. Nice. I got one more little clip to show you. I just wanted to show that one. All right, this last one. 2009, July 25th, France. I can see right there where my cursor, right there where my cursor is. There's the first one. There's the second one. They're following each other. And as they're going in a circle over the field, they're creating circles. All right, so we're done with that. If you're new to my channel, you may want to look up, my moderators will post the link to the orbs video because we go pretty hard on that one. And I have a previous, before that, I had done a crop circles and agroglyphs video where we talked about orbs as well. So thank you, son of Overbrook. You're still in Florida? I've met him at a meetup. So let's get to the facts. Let's get to the facts. We got a lot to talk about. Although this video is probably not going to be it's probably going to be 2 hours. That's because it's intense information, not a lot of information. But here's a fact. The fact is, in the year 1990, there was a subtle change in the crop circle phenomenon. We'll get to that in a minute. So much so that in the following year, 1991, there has never been another year like 1991. Crop circle phenomenon exploded. Activity everywhere. It was almost as if in 1991, the transitional period between 1990 and 1991, something was trying to get our attention. Crop circles were circular. Sometimes they were binary and trinary ringed, but they were just circles. Then they started getting a little bit more complex where a circle would overlay another circle. And sometimes they would create a geometrical pattern, but it would always be very, very simple. They weren't complex yet. but sometimes these very simple circles within circles were conveying very complex mathematical principles. By the end of 1991, some were actually exhibiting fractal geometry, the Fibonacci sequence, sacred geometrical principles. Now, many individuals who have visited crop circles have reported experiencing unusual phenomena, such as electronic equipment malfunctioning, feelings of peace. Some people felt heightened energy. Others could hear sounds, but they know that there was nothing in the vicinity to have made those sounds. Others saw lights. So this is very similar to the descriptions I gave you from 660 AD in the records of Japan, when the Phoenix phenomenon had all the people tripping, and some people were responding. Other people were carrying a bunch of stuff and they couldn't figure out why they were carrying it. Other people were watching them act a fool and they couldn't explain what the behavior was. Some people were hearing voices and other people were at peace. And it was so weird. This is what happens during a convergence field. The convergence field is going to amplify basically what you are psychologically already. Psychology is vibration. So if you're already in a dark, morose mood, when there's a convergence field, you're going to get darker and experience dark things. When you're in a jovial, good mindset, when you excuse me. So when you're basically positive mind, you have a positive outlook on reality itself and nothing really phases you, during a convergence field, you may have very pleasurable experiences and be absolutely baffled by the behavior of people around you. Convergence fields affect people differently because people are all vibrating on different frequencies. Now, most crop circles are reported to have been created overnight. Very, very rarely do they ever appear during the day. It's like 98 to 99% of them are always under cover of darkness. This is what makes 1996 so interesting, as we'll see. So scientific research that's been conducted on the plant life, these are agricultural fields. Wheat, barley, stuff like that, corn. Well, scientists have actually studied these areas, and particularly wheat. And they have documented that it is very strange that the stalks on the plants, when they are folded, are changed at the molecular level. So they don't break, they don't splinter, they don't fracture, they don't powder off. They just lay over, and then they stay in that state. But it is a cellular change that is done to these plants to do that. They're not killed. The plants aren't killed at all. They're laid down. And the stalks, instead of being straight, the stalks are bent over at whatever. And a lot of times they're woven. It's not simple. It's not as simple as you think. These crop patterns, it's not as simple as they're just laying down. No, they're often intermeshed and woven perfectly. And this has been photographed many times. I'm going to show you some pictures. This suggests some type of exposure to an energy that does not burn. Again, we're dealing with fields. This is something very new to the human experience within the last 100 years or so. So many crop circles appear. This is also a fact about crop circles. They often appear very close to very popular ancient megalithic sites like Avebury, Silbury Hill. Stonehenge has the most than any of them. I think a bunch of them are clustered between Averbury and Stonehenge in Wiltshire. Also, ancient burial mounds. Some people believe, although the government won't allow, and for different reasons, people can't excavate. Some people believe that some of these crop circles are actually identifying underground areas that need to be excavated. I don't know. I don't know. It's just a theory. So another peculiar characteristic observed in some crop circles is the phenomenon of grain entanglement. It's where the stalks are so woven together, the intricate patterns are formed, and it's just almost impossible to achieve by simply flattening. Well, we'll talk about the flatteners. We got some flatteners that tried to claim that they were the ones doing the crop circles, but then something unique happened. It's as if whoever was creating the crop circles said, "Hell no, you two schmucks are not going to stop me from my agenda," because right after they tried that, crop circles started appearing for which no human could ever make. So, like I said, there's some communication going on. Somebody on the inside figured out, somebody in the 90s, in the late 90s, figured out, well, the mid to late 90s, figured out that whoever was doing the crop circles was laying out a system of keys. And it was designed to capture attention, and that whoever was doing these crop circles deliberately responded to the hoax that was put out by the BBC. Because when these guys got a lot of attention for faking the crop circle phenomenon, people lost interest in the crop circles until suddenly they just burst onto the scene in such geometrical complexity that everybody who saw them after that knew there's no way those two schmucks did this. So, like I said, we're being observed. That's where all the evidence goes. All right, 1,700, almost 1,700 in the chat on a Friday night. I love it. I love it. All right. Yeah, the crop circle makers on the outside of the construct called their BS out. You're right. Who said that? Chad Benson called their BS out. All right. Let's see here. So I would like to address this too. Where's this? CPG said, "Why the stupid shapes? Why not just plain words? What makes you think an agroglyph is a stupid shape? Well, what's so stupid about it? Can you make one?" Yeah, that's complex fractalized geometry. Some of these pictures I'm going to show you are going to blow your mind. But if an extraterrestrial species, if a Billy Carson version of Pleiadians and Intergalactic Federation aliens were trying to communicate with us, I promise you they wouldn't have chose crop circles. Not that Mel Gibson movie BS signs. That's all the box. That's the uniformitarian box they're trying to get you to think in. That's not what's really happening, because an extraterrestrial species doesn't need a crop circle. The only way to make sense of the crop circle phenomenon is to accept the archaic paradigm that we live in a mathematical construct, that it's a controlled environment, and that we are trapped here. You aren't going into space. SpaceX and NASA's not sending anything beyond the firmament. All that is smoke and mirrors. April Fool's Day, they're going to the moon again. They're literally trolling you. It's so pedantic. So, yeah, an extraterrestrial species does not need the crop circle phenomenon. And ET can come down here in a vehicle and just lay out the law. But that's not what's happening. Instead, we have these really advanced geometrical patterns appearing in our serials. And they're appearing, drawing attention to one site in the world. Yes, they appear every once in a while in other places, but over 85% of all crop circles in the world have all appeared right there around Avebury and Stonehenge, and they're pretty close together, Wiltshire Plain. Why? What is it about ancient Stonehenge that they want us to, that they're drawing attention to? All right. That's Wiltshire. That's very deliberate. So here's another thing that scientists have found out about the agroglyphs, crop circles. The soil, the dirt in the soil at the area of effect, not outside the crop circle where the plants haven't been touched, but directly where they've been touched, the soil has been dehydrated. Moisture has been pulled out several inches. Moisture has been pulled out of the ground. Whatever this convergence field is, it absorbs or it dissipates water. There are also many reports of unusual animal behavior in and around crop circle sites. Even after a crop circle has appeared for several days, it seems like the wildlife, like birds and rabbits and shrews, they avoid those areas. So is it a residuum of the convergence field still remaining? What is it the animals detect? What is it they detect that makes them stay away? Yeah, the crop circle phenomenon has been overstudied. It has been studied so much, most people don't even know. There's whole books. I've ordered 3 of them recently. I already had 2 or 3. So the crop circle phenomenon, agroglyphs, this has been going on for a long period of time. Also, crop circles only appear in May, June, July, and August. Rarely some of them appear in September. But a little 4-month window is basically when they appear. But the phenomenon is old. It is extremely old. So let me share my screen again. Let's see what we got here. Oh, we got pictures. I'm still so slow. I'm still so slow at the all right, so you're gonna get big. I got this huge 5-foot screen. I keep losing stuff on. There we go. I found it. Here's an old picture right here. It's a pretty good one. All done without breaking any of them. Two guys with tennis rackets on their feet aren't going to do this. They sure as hell not going to do this. $138. Oh, that can only be one person. I know who that is. Third space. I must have missed it. I'm just showing you the stocks. You have to understand, people have measured these circles. They are absolutely perfect. They are perfect. Again, 1996 is when that DNA helix appeared. It's called the double helix formation. 2 of them appeared in 1996, but I'm getting ahead of myself. We haven't got to 1996 yet. I'm just showing you this picture because this is what the double helix looks like from the ground. This is what it looks like from the ground. It's huge. One of the largest formations ever. No two schmucks with tennis rackets on their feet did this. Again, here's the stocks. I'm just showing the stocks. All right, so we're done with that file. Let's go to another one. So I'm going to show you the early formations. So a long time ago, coming out of the Dark Ages into the Middle Age period, we have one record from a bishop of Lyon. This is Lyon, France, where in that record, it records that a cornfield was magically flattened by magical storms. And it's pretty much, this is the year 815 AD. It's probably the oldest reference to a crop circle phenomenon. A magical storm flattened a part of a cornfield. This is from the Bishop of Lyon, France in the year 815. We don't have a lot of data on that. But we do know that in the 1500s, these same circles were appearing, and they were often called fairy rings by the pagans. The non-Christianized Europeans would call them fairy rings, and they believe little green men came out and made them that came from underground of fairies. Sometimes some believe that the kobolds, the dwarves, or leprechauns made these rings. Christianized Europe called them witch patties. But it's always, like I tell you all the time, man, so many other videos I've told you, man, it all goes by frames of reference. So they're still describing the exact same thing. There's even a reference in the late 16th century, in the year 1590, there's a reference of a witch trial where this woman was accused of flattening part of the crop into patterns. So this again is probably an early reference to the crop circle phenomenon. The poor girl probably got burned at the stake and had nothing to do with her. So we have a direct reference in 1678. But the crop circle patterns used to look very, very, it was just a simple sphere. But in 1678, we got this bastard here. This is the mowing devil. And it's because in 1678, most of Europe was Christian. So they automatically assumed that whatever was making these patterns out there in the fields was the devil. And that for some reason, the devil was a mowing devil. But they were very simple. The crop circle phenomenon was simple for centuries. There are no reports of complexity. Not until the late 80s. And even then, it was like this. This was like the most complex thing you saw in the 80s. 3 circles here. Crop circles were very simple. That's it. Circle within a circle. So this is just a chart showing you how simple crop circles have been for as long as they've been studied, for centuries. They've always been this simple. Here's 2 circles inside of a third circle. Or almost like an infinity symbol. Here's the old mowing devil bulletin from 1678. Being a time relation of a farmer who, bargaining with the poor, I can't, it's all blurry, about the cutting down of a half acre of oats, upon the mowers asking too much, appeared to nearly mowed by the devil or some infernal spy. Man, they had a great imagination back then. 1678, the mowing devil. There's my video from like 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Agroglyphs and the mowing devil. All right, we're done with that file. Told you we're moving along today. Share my screen again. Let's get in here. Yeah, that's the complexity is it's just not there. So we entered another period. We entered another period when the complexity got complex, when things started heating up. So you can see this. This is dated 1994. The crop circles that had appeared up to 1994 and their complexity. So After 1678, we had an incident in 1880. In the year 1880, John Rand Capron's letter in the scientific magazine called Nature Journal. It describes multiple circles of flattened crops in southern England with swirling patterns, possibly cyclonic in origin. So a scientific magazine in 1880 was analyzing a crop circle, and because the stalks were all in a swirling pattern, they had a theory that it could have been a cyclone. So in the mid to late 1960s, crop circles took on a new form, and it's because of the apparatus of deceit that was laid out for the people. Listen, our controllers are always ahead of the game. They are always going to provide the public the answers to phenomena for which they haven't even experienced yet. It's already out there. It's almost as if we've been run by a hidden AI for centuries. I talk about this a lot. And what I mean is in the 1960s, the UFO craze was going off. So how did that fit in with the crop circles? All throughout the 1960s, crop circles were called UFO nests. It's where the UFO came down and landed at night when nobody was paying attention. And when it took off, its propulsion system spun the corn and made a perfectly 363.3.1416 circle right there in the corn. This was the explanation in the 1960s. It's because everybody wanted to associate an unknown to another unknown. And remember, one of the archaic tenets, one of my research tenets is you can never take an unknown and add it to another unknown and then claim that you know something. Doesn't work. Doesn't work at all. So, my coffee's getting cold. The next decade, the late 1970s, simple single circles and small clusters regularly appeared in southern England. So we're getting complexity now. It's not just a circle. It's circles within circles, a couple of lines here and there, maybe an arrow. It's a little bit more complexity, but it's the same area of the world, Avebury and Stonehenge. Then come the 1980s. In the 1980s, we got 3 60-foot circles reported in Wiltshire, in an oat field. And the media interest suddenly grows. Now the crop circles in the 80s are starting to get some media attention. In the early 1980s, the term crop circles was coined. Prior to that, it was saucer beds. Yeah, what it was. Or saucer nests. Now rectangles and trigons and wavy lines, they started appearing. And in the 80s, now the crop circles started appearing far more numerously. It's not some isolated event now at all. Then comes the year 1990. And in 1990, about 250 crop circles appeared. This is when things began to get really intriguing, because following that, in the year 1991, we've never had another year like 1991. So if you were to add 1990 and 1991, it's over 1,000 crop circles, because in 1991 alone, 800 crop circles were reported worldwide. 85% of them right there in southern England. So this got huge media attention in 1991, and the apparatus of deceit instantly went into action. And what did they do? They introduced 2 schmucks. One of them was named Doug. The other one was named Dave. Doug and Dave sound like cartoon characters, but Doug and Dave in 1991 got out there with their little beer belly asses and explained that, hey, we're the ones making these old circles out here. We got these tennis rackets on our boots. Watch this. And go out there and plucked like a chicken in a circle with a string on a stick to show how they made the circle. And the news ate it up and killed the crop circle. Deal just like that. Absolutely ridiculous. What do I tell you guys all the time? It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Yeah, man, it's so dumb. But that's what they did in 1991. These two morons named Doug Bauer and Dave Chorley, they claim responsibility for many of the crop circles. And that's all that the establishment needed to basically, they said, well, these two guys could have done it. Well, shoot, we just don't know who all the other ones are, but they're the ones doing all hundreds, all 1,000 and something crop circles that appeared in the last 18 months were done by Doug Bauer and Dave Chorley. Absolutely ridiculous. But the general non-thinking public that believes mainstream media, those trapped in dungeon programming, they're going to believe any explanation given to them. They have no reason not to believe because they trust the system. That's the world that we lived in 1991. It's crazy. Yeah, they demonstrated their technique using wooden planks and ropes to flatten crops into patterns. And while their confession, explained some of the formations, they couldn't explain how they were also appearing in Denmark, Norway, North Ohio fields, Montana, stuff like that. It's stupid. It was so dumb. So in the year 1992, 180 crop circles appeared, but now they're even more complex, as if something's offended. Something is very offended that two morons would get up and try to claim their work. Crop circles suddenly started to appearing with great complexity, as if whoever was creating those crop circles were saying, F this, I'm going to show him now, sent his little orbs and did his magic. And these two dudes faded into obscurity because there's no way they could have claimed to do the next batch of crop circles that appeared in 1992, 93, 94, 95, and especially in 1996. There's no way they could have laid claim to that. So that's our little tangent about these two schmucks. I'm telling you now, agroglyphs are a form of communication. The communication is not for the general public. There is somebody who has the cipher. The cipher was given to them in the crop circles themselves. Whoever's doing the crop circles was waiting for somebody to figure it out. Now, in my book, Anunnaki Homeworld, published like 12 years ago, 10 years ago, something like that, I gave a go at interpreting some of those crop circles, and I'm going to show you that in this video. And I'm still hold to those interpretations because there's definitive ways that you can definitely see what the concept is embodying certain crop circles. But there's a cipher. And the cipher is always going to be in the phenomenon itself. So if I can see you through a one-way glass wall, but you can't see me, but you can see something that I draw on the ground. You understand? You can't hear me. And I draw something on the ground and it appears over on your side of the glass on the ground. I do it again. You don't really pay attention because you don't have no explanation. But after it happens hundreds of times, all of a sudden a light bulb goes off. Damn, this looks close to this, but it's not this. It's not this. It's the same thing, but it's got an added deal. Here, this one here is the same, but it's got an added deal and another Dumaflachi. This one's got two Dumaflachis and a whatchamacallit. So this is what happened. Somebody inside the construct looked at every year's deal and they figured it out. And what happened in 1996 is the result of that. We'll get to that. But they figured it out, that they were given a language from someone on the other side of that one-way glass. And they realized somebody's giving me a damn geometrical alphabet. This is a geometrical alphabet. And they put it together. They probably ran it through AI. They probably ran it through software in the 90s. They probably ran it through all kinds of shit to build a language. And they realized, holy shit. something is communicating in the only way it can, using technology at a long distance outside of the construct, able to manipulate phenomena through convergence fields inside the construct and create patterns. The coding and programming is done on the outside, but the orb is the physical or the aerial manifestation of the technology at work. It's all we see from inside the subjective experience. Objectively, the outsiders, the watchers, whoever they are, I believe they're humans. And I've told you that before. I believe humans are on the outside of the construct. I believe that we develop the construct. This is so that we do not cross-contaminate the real reality with the very things that we do inside here. There's no way they can get in and out, but they can with technology. They can convey. And this is what happened. Somebody figured it out. Started putting these things together. 1993, 140 more crop circles appeared. 1994, 110 crop circles appeared. In 1995, 90 crop circles appeared. What you're seeing on the screen are attention grabbers. It's basically somebody on the other side of that dome, on the other side of the firmament, on the other side of the similosphere, literally saying, look at this. You think that crop circles are being faked? Look at this. It keeps one-upping itself until it got all the attention that it was trying to get, until somebody communicated back and says, I'm listening. I got it. That's when the real communication began. It's going to blow your mind. That's when the real communication began. This is going to blow your mind, guys. This right here is another message from outside the construct saying, look at me. Look at me. I'm not arbitrary. This is not a natural phenomenon. No other humans are doing this. Get off your asses, get on your computers, and study me. That's what this is saying right here. It's not the only one. So is this. So is this. These are geometrical patterns, but they're not necessarily messages. They're just patterns that have sacred geometry. They have sacred ratios. Sometimes it's fractalized, but they are just attempts to draw attention. Look at me. You think men are making these? F off. Look at me. This is what's happening here. You're going to see a change in the crop circles when humans on the inside of the construct finally snapped and realized what was going on, because the essence of the crop circles totally change. Totally change. They become absolutely, they become messages now. And it's only because they've already laid the whole alphabet out in the last 50 years, from simple to complex. They laid the whole alphabet out, how to interpret them, before they literally laid the messages out. This was done on a stone in 1990. This is not an ancient stone. Somebody recently did that in 1990 to commemorate the crop circle that appeared in 1990. This is far more complex than it looks like. It looks like three wheels. The curve, listen, the curve in this, it would be so hard to fake that. This curve. That would be so hard to make all six of those curves so perfect. But the really interesting sphere is this one, because this sphere, as we'll see here in a little while, I'm going to show you another one that replicated this. This is fractal geometry recording 1.618 phi, the golden proportion. This would have woke up somebody who was deliberately observing these crop circles. This would have woke them up and said, whoa, because phi is part of language. Now, this too is, even though it looks kind of arachnid or insectoid, it's still look at me. This is the look at me phase. This is the look at me phase. Hey man, you still think humans are the ones making these? Why are you boys not paying attention? Why are you people not paying attention? Look at me. More complexity. This right here would have woke people up too. It may not be a message, but again, look at me. Look at me. But it could be part of the cipher, letting them know what future complex patterns, how they can be more readily interpreted. Again, these are some beautiful patterns. But again, this wouldn't be a message. This is another look at me. Look at me. You still think humans are putting a stick in the ground and then using a rope from the stick and walking on tennis rackets? You still think I'm a schmuck? That's what this is saying right here. Look at me. So part of the language is being laid out here. This is all preparatory. The language is being laid out. I don't think there's much message here because it's too geometrically perfect. There could be. I could be wrong. But again, look at me. Look at me. It's the precision that begs the question, what the hell am I? What is doing this? Just follow my reasoning. Again, look at me. Here's Stonehenge. A whole bunch of them appeared right next to Stonehenge. A bunch of them. Again, look at this. This may be part of some type of codified geometrical language tree. I don't know. We can figure it out. There is evidence from the crop circles that there are things being conveyed like minerals, atomic weight, things like that. I'm not the one that came up with that. Here again, when you see something like this, the absolute geometrical perfection, this is like somebody on the outside of the Simulacrum looking in and saying, you know what, I'm going to do one that is going to wake them the F up. I'm going to wake them up because the group or people that them on the outside are trying to get the attention to it. It took them a while for them to catch on what was happening, but they did catch on. They did. We have the evidence that they did catch on. Now, the complexity gets to the point where okay, there's no way. There's absolutely no way in hell humans did this with human means. There's no way. It's been studied too much. The patterns get too complex. No tractors would have done this. There's no ingress and egress points showing where a group could have gone out. They're all done within minutes. There's no way. By this time, they have the attention. Whoever's on the outside creating this phenomena as a form of communication now has the attention of government insiders, people at NASA, maybe people so high up we've never heard of them, whatever. But now people are paying, now that there's a group paying attention. Again, look at me. Look at me. Look at me. You can't not look at this. You can't not look at this and think, yeah, man, no way, man. Russians ain't doing this shit. The British ain't doing this shit. MI6 isn't doing this shit. Again, look at me. It's too perfect. Now, this one's intriguing because this is look at me, and it looks like it might have a part of a cipher to it that belongs to another group of symbols. Again, look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Again, that's crazy. Look at me. It's a two-dimensional image of three-dimensional geometry. Look at me. Again, look at me. It's the complexity. Whoever was trying to get our attention put so many different images out there, and they serve dual function. One is to teach those who are paying attention a cipher by which they can decipher future complex agroglyphs. The other function is to get their damn attention first, so that they'll be able to do it. This is what it's about. It has nothing to do with aliens and extraterrestrials and none of that BS. Galactic Federation is not included. Batteries not included. You don't need them. Again, look at me. Look at me. Look at me. I mean, you have to understand, these are not small. Those are people standing in there. It's crazy. Well, those look like bushes. Other ones, I got people. I got people blowed up in there. But yeah, these things are huge. Look at that. They're not even crop circles. Look at that. It's all a giant hexagon with a bunch of hexagons. Look at me. Look at me. Yeah, this one's not even a big one, but look how small those people are. Hey, Jahara, I just saw you. Jahara, I don't know if you're on there. I haven't seen you in 2 or 3 videos. You're supposed to get an Archaics Academy download link. Let me know if you got it. All my moderators on YouTube. Every moderator, every blue wrench on YouTube is supposed to get a free download to the Archaics Academy. Look at this. This says, look at me. It's a pretty big file for look at me. I think we're almost done with it. But again, look at me. Look at me. While these look at me's are going on, it's also dropping elements of the cipher. Look at me. Massive formation. Look at me. Look at me. Again, this is an ammonite. This is a picture of an ammonite, which is phi geometry. The ammonite represents the golden proportion at 1.618. It's right here. And phi is a type of language, and that's the last one. No, it's not. No, it's not. I'm sorry. Again, look at me. Look at me. Look at me. I know y'all are going to get tired of me saying it, but I'm trying to reinforce a point because there's going to come a time when they change, and you're going to see the difference. It says, look at me. Again, this is a huge look at me. This is an intelligence on the outside of the construct that is desperate for people inside the construct to look at me. Look at this. Because studying a geometrical form that's hundreds of feet across, and it's absolutely precise, proving it wasn't done by other humans or human technology or manufacturing or in any way, and it was done in seconds under cover of darkness. The look at me is literally telling you to understand the implications of what you are studying. Because this is by intelligent design, it is created by technology, and whoever can do something like that definitely has the means to just appear in front of you and talk to you. But for some reason, they can't do that. So they got to communicate this way. The implications are right there in our face. To do this massive amount of long-term planning and energy expenditure to establish a mode of communication from the outside to the inside means there must be an impenetrable barrier. We're on the inside of this experience. They're on the outside of this experience, meaning a higher dimension able to observe us keenly. But we can't observe them. But we can observe what they make appear in our deal. We know the orbs. The orbs make volcanoes erupt. The orbs make tsunamis appear. The orbs cause earthquake activity. The orbs cause badass thunderstorms, windstorms. The orbs have been documented inside the funnels of tornadoes. Are you following me here? The orbs are technological. They are what we experience on the inside. But we call them orbs. They are the will-o-wisps. They are what we experience in here of a remote technology that is being operated outside the construct. This is why they seem to be so erratic. This is why they seem to bleed like plasma sometimes. It is technology being used at a distance. But it's badass technology, whatever it is, because it can make phenomena happen inside the construct. In the world of phenomena, it creates phenomena. So for the orbs to be creating these means that whoever's making the orbs do it has a very important reason to go through all this shit. These are look at me's. Look at me and understand the implications. Look at me, understand the implications. Look at this symmetry. It is not anything but intelligent design. I'm trying to convey something to you. Look at me. Pay attention to me, because there are messages I need to convey to you that I can't do in person. I cannot come in. But I've got information that will help you get out. Look at me. We're almost done with this file. Look at me. There is a massive amount of information. I guarantee you there's some type of intelligence community that's already on top of it. I'm going to show you evidence of it, but they're already on top of it. And they've probably uploaded the imagery, and they've probably looked at everything in three, because these are two-dimensional. They've probably studied them all in three dimensions, which you're supposed to do. Because you're going to see the difference. We're still in the look at me phase. You have not seen the communication phase. The next file, well, 2 files from now, I'm going to show you the communications phase. And these are the ones that show you that, yes, there's communication back and forth now. Because now they're communicating. Man, it's crazy. I told you I was going to blow your mind with this video. It blew my mind when I was putting all this together and studying it. Look at me. Again, the complexity is necessary only to draw attention. It's almost as if somebody on the outside of the construct every 2 or 3 months is like, how can you not study me right now? What do you mean you're going to fund this over here? Redirect that funding back into this project. Look at me. Over and over and over. It's like whatever's creating these is screaming louder and louder. Quit doing what you're doing and study me. Again. Right here. Study me. Geometry is the ultimate language. 3 and 4 dimensional geometry is going to be a language that you literally need AI or a computer to commune with. Look at me right here. It is now, whatever's on the outside of the construct has now established that it's creating these things, these patterns, and that it's trying to get their attention. It's trying to get somebody's attention. So these are the real simple patterns in the beginning. And you can clearly see how different everything is now compared to the beginning. The beginning was elements of the cipher. These are elements to the cipher that are literally giving somebody who's paying attention the keys to the kingdom. These are the individual, I guess, alphabetical geometrical designations to a very complex computer language. This is what was given to somebody, whoever was paying attention, whoever ended up communicating, because communication is occurring now. I'm going to show you. But this was the beginning. Look at me. Look at me. Again, this isn't communication right here. This is look at me. It's a perfect geometrical deal. It's, again, look at me. And now we're done with the look at me file. Woo! I didn't think we were going to get done with that. So, something happened in 1996 where whoever on the outside was conveying this information to those on the inside must have reciprocated in some way. I'm not saying that they did a crop pattern or did a giant agroglyph to face the sky. I'm not, because a higher dimension of awareness can see everything in the construct without any obstruction. We're living a subjective experience You know, a man who stands inside of a bubble thinks his vision is clear, but it's actually distorted by the bubble. And he wouldn't even know because he's inside the subjectivity. It's inside the bubble. Whoever's doing these received direct evidence that the signals were received and that it's understood, but there was some doubt. Whoever's on the inside of this experience with us, let's just make it up. Let's just say the Adjustment Bureau, borrowing from the popular movie. Let's just say that there's a secret Adjustment Bureau in the United States, or it could be anywhere in the world. But somebody from the Adjustment Bureau realized that with a computer, he could easily broadcast signals to communicate that would be understood easily. Every language in the world spoken in here is understood by whoever's doing these crop circle patterns. Because on the outside of this experience, everything in here is not a mystery. So communication from the inside out was super easy. Whoever the Adjustment Bureau is, they communicated the fact that, yes, we understand that you're out there. We need more clarity as to what you're trying to convey to us. 3, you need to give us some type of proof that you have humans, that we humans are that's in our best interest as humans to communicate with you. Because I'm going to tell you now, the highest levels of government already know that we're in a construct. They figured that out with Operation High Jump and Operation Fishbowl. And the U.S. military proved to itself that we are inside of a construct. Those 2 operations were designed to find out what the perimeters of our movement are. How free are we? Both of those military objectives were reached. They were successful. So this Adjustment Bureau said, yeah, man, we hear you. We understand you're trying to communicate. We need some security. We need to understand that communicating to you is in our best interest as humans. We need to know. We need some clarity because some of this communication is bewildering to us. We need some clarity on how to move forward. What's the best way to move forward to interpret and build this language so we can interchange? All 3 questions answered quickly in 1996. 1996, everything changed in the agroglyph world. So I sure need some more coffee. Can't drink bourbon on YouTube, but I do in Cypher. I do in the underground. All right, so we're 1 hour and 17 minutes in this. It's time to show you guys 1996. So this file, I titled this file the, man, I gotta go back and see it. Oh, the verification of communication file. This is when things changed. And every crop circle enthusiast knows that 1996 was the pivot. It's when everything changed. It's the key date. So the first thing that happens, it's crazy. This is amazing what I'm about to show you. Share my screen again. Video file. So this is a geometrically perfect Julia set. It is one of the most complex crop patterns ever. I wish I could blow it up because the spheres keep diminishing in other dimensions of arithmetic while maintaining the perfect 1.618 curve, the golden proportion. It is in juxtaposition to Stonehenge, just right across the street in the next field in southern England, in Wiltshire. I've got better pictures of it. Hold on. This is the Julia set that appeared in 1996, July 7th. the same day that this appeared. I'm going to have to go the other direction. Hold on. Oh, man, this be ticking me off. Just move already. All right. I have problems with StreamYard trying to share stuff. It's so dumb. Same time this appeared. There we go. The exact same day that the Julia set appeared, astonishing a lot of people. Mathematicians, geometry, how you say it, those who study geometry, they knew the Julia set was next level geometry. They knew. Whoever was on the outside did the Julia set as verification of how complex this is going to get and how perfect this language is. But at the exact same time, on July 7th, 1996, this formation also appeared, which is called the DNA helix formation. It's famous too. It's famous too. Geometrically precise and perfect. Oh, I showed you that too fast. That's the oh, there's a good picture of the Julia set right there. Oh, this is really aggravating me about the screen. There we go. That's a good picture of the Julia set. Yeah. Yeah, even the small spheres are perfect. It's the Julia set. Not even 10 days later, more verification came in. Not that one. I need to get, there it is right there. After the Julia set, also in the month of July, right after the DNA helix, the triple Julia set appears, which is even more complex. It's 3 times as complex. That's the triple Julia set. All these appeared in 1996. The Julia set, the triple Julia set, and 2 different DNA helix formations all appeared in 1996. It's Julia set. Yeah. Also in this period, the confirmatory period, when they were like, okay, cool, I'm going to show you that it's me. This is very complex too. So is this one. Not easy. This one's got little comets. Do you see these little comets? Yeah, they're not spheres. This is the first one that shows comets. Little comets coming in. At least that's what the interpreters call them. They call them comets coming in. Yeah, look at this. Look at that complexity. Can you imagine humans and tractors trying to do that? Again, very complex. Julia set, another. This is almost like a Julia set, an overlay. I would really like to see what this looks like in 3D. But this is the beginning of a message. The reason I'm telling you this, because you see the circle over here that's empty? Okay, on the other side, we have a full circle. However, this is strange. It's got a smaller circle right next to it. This is the beginning of communication. This is where this is going. It's offset. 1996. The complexity and the timing. The Julia set right next to Stonehenge at the exact same day as the famous DNA helix set. Then a little bit later that month, a second DNA helix appeared and another Julia set appeared right after that. the triple Julius set. The triple Julius set was like, yeah, you thought the Julius set was badass. Look at this. Bam. So now you have your adjustment bureau that are like, So the response to our question was, it showed us a representation of human DNA. And there's no telling what the computers decoded from that geometry. That DNA deal with the spheres, yeah, there could be all kinds of messages in there. And the Julius set as well. So I'm going to turn this AC off. I'm freezing. Oh, yeah. Nice and quiet now. Hell yeah. All right. So that takes care of that file. Yeah, maybe I lied. Maybe it wasn't going to be 2 hours. I don't know. So now let's get to what happened directly after this. What happened? I'm going to tell you what happened. Communication. Now, the Julius set was very eye-opening. The reason it was so different, not just because of the complex geometry, but it was reinforced by the triple Julius set 10 days later, at the same time as the DNA double helix. But even more curious is that about 95 to 98% of all agroglyphs appear under cover of darkness at night, but not the Julius set. Not the most sophisticated, the most advanced geometry to ever appear in a crop circle. The Julius set, December 7th, 1998. It appeared in broad daylight. You don't think that was a wake-up call? It appeared in broad daylight. It is widely famous for that attribute. That in just seconds it's just suddenly appeared. It's like, what the hell? I believe it was a plane flying over that saw it. But yeah, that was a wake-up call. That was a message. I don't have to do this just at night. I just prefer to do it. But because you guys are asking for verification, because you guys are asking for some confidences and stuff, okay, cool. I gave you the Julius set, reinforced it with the triple Julius set while putting two double, showing you that I know who you are. You're human. You get that. And the double helix set was probably a message. Hey man, you're communicating with the human. That's probably what the Adjustment Bureau's questions are. What are you? Who are you? And its response was the double helix set, which the answer would be is, I'm human just like you are. So 1997, 80 more crop circles. 1998, 70 more crop circles. 1999, 60 more. In the year 2000, 50 more. They're going down, but they don't need to go up. This isn't the look at me period where it needs 2,000 crop circles over a 7-year period. This isn't that period anymore, because it got in communication with people on the inside that understand what's going on now. It doesn't need a lot of crop circles. What it needs now is for those on the inside to apply the proper ciphers using their computers to understand the message that somebody on the outside is desperately trying to tell those of us on the inside. I'm going to show you the messages now. You interpret them any way you want to, but it's very unusual how the crop circle formations change after 1996. So share my screen again. Got so many of them. Oh yeah, the number 138 comes up in crop circles a lot. Yeah. Listen, yeah, I need to do another video on crop circles. But this right here is like an introduction. You know what? I don't even want to do live videos decoding them all, because hell, I might get that knock on the door. Yeah, man. I'm trying to be safe too, man. I'm not trying to piss off the Adjustment Bureau. Yeah. So communication begins. This is overnight. Communication begins. So we have almost like a spiral galaxy. We have two fields. We have two somethings here rotating around each other. But look at the placement. Do you think this is just random? No. Absolutely not. I don't know what these three spheres indicate. That may be Triangulum. Triangulum is a constellation for which the ancients called Mul Appen. It is the origin of all ancient astrology and astronomy, as I've shown on my channel. It is out of Triangulum that one of the greatest destructions of the world happened. It started the Mul Appen observations, and the Appen came out of Triangulum and destroyed the world, the ancient world, 2239 BC in the month of May. So I don't know if that's what it is or not, but this looks to me, the message I'm seeing here is look toward a galaxy. There will be a galaxy in the background, but that's just the backfield. Before that galaxy are three bodies. And this is what the star patterns look like around those three bodies. It's almost as if it's a message to pay attention to a certain area of the sky. And if this is overlaid over the star maps, it might show exactly what that area is. Just a guesstimation. I don't know. Just a guesstimation. But we begin with the communication. As I showed in my book, Anunnaki Homeworld, over 12 years ago, I showed you where there was 2 or 3 crop circles, and the code 2046 is very clear in those crop circles. So, in this one right here, you would have to, it's just like the geometry. Also in my book, Anunnaki Homeworld, I showed you how to decode Stonehenge. I show you how the trilithons, the sarsen stones, how all of it is related to the calendar. It's all related to the 360 degrees of the celestial sphere. It is all, the entire Stonehenge complex screams sexagesimal mathematics. So the crop circles are the same way. You would count the large spheres and you would multiply them by the small ones, and it produces very interesting numbers. But sometimes your divisors are how many angles are in the overall pattern itself. So I'm not going to do all these individual ones because it's just arbitrary. I haven't put together the whole cipher like the Adjustment Bureau has. I'm just showing you. We just saw that one. It's a different picture. This is communication. I don't know what kind of communication, but this means something to someone. And no one is ever going to lay out such a complex array of shapes that are all interconnected if there's not a receiver for that data. Someone's receiving that information and doing something with it. Again, what are you looking at here? These are coordinates. These right here are not random. They are deliberately spaced that way. These are coordinates. What are you looking at here? Is this a model of what we're taught that there's an asteroid belt? Is this a model of it? Is this the sun? Is this Earth and the moon right here? What is this body here with this circle? Jupiter, Saturn, I don't know. That wouldn't be on the inside. Oh, could that be the Oort cloud? I don't know. I'm just speculating. But these are coordinates because look at the perimeter. Look outside this long ring full of jumbled different size circles. You've got spheres on the perimeter. Whoops. I didn't mean to jump to that one. Look at the spheres on the perimeter. Those are coordinates. They mean something to someone. They're not random. This is definitely very telling. This is definitely very telling. Do you see the middle? The middle is the sun. It doesn't matter if the heliocentric model is not true. It's conveying messages the way scientists would receive them because they've all bought into the uniformitarian model. So you're looking at the sun. The very first ring is Mercury. The second ring is Venus. But Earth is missing. Do you see the third orbital belt? Earth is missing. But Mars is exactly where it's supposed to be, in the fourth orbital belt. Then there's the asteroid belt, exactly where it's supposed to be, outside of the Mars belt. Earth is missing, just like I told you what was going to happen in 2046. Earth, Nemesis X is going to pull Earth back onto the Nemesis X plane where Earth is from. And the Nemesis X tertiary field is going to fundamentally change all fauna, flora, and human biology. Everything in our world is going to change. We'll be back in the vapor canopy status. You guys already know. It's going to be the land of the lost. It's going to be the land of the chickenosauruses. And then after this date in 2040, there's no one in the world going to be wondering why those giant megalithic structures are all on high ground. Why they got build them walls that big? Why all these gigantic blocks were necessary? How come there's all these narrow entrances to all these ancient sites and all that, and there's really no evidence that any of them were sieged in battle? What's going on? All that shit's over with. All these YouTubers and all these dudes on social media that get out of high school and college and start their channels and stuff talking about all these mysteries and all these what ifs and how comes, and they don't really have any answers for any of these things. There's no more questioning after 2046. You're going to know why all those megalithic structures and all those megalithic cities were built exactly the way they were built and why they were built there. Because during a vapor canopy, your ass is going to be in those cities. You're going to be away from the valleys, away from the forests, away from the jungles, away from all the lowland areas, because they're going to be absolutely packed full of giant insects and velociraptors, and your ass is going to be up there on the top of those walls looking down on a world, shooting arrows at velociraptors for your chicken. That's what you're going to do. That's the world that's coming. It's a world that we've been through many, many times. This right here is literally showing you the original state of the solar system, according to the uniformitarian model that is accepted by humans inside the construct. That's the original state of the system. Earth does not belong. It is an intruder. Our plane does not belong here. It belongs with Nemesis. This is a diagram of 2046. This is fractals that preserve 3.1416. This is very, very sophisticated. So now we already have 1.618 introduced into the crop circles. Now we have pi 3.14 in fractal form. This is not the Julius set over here. This is really curious. This is called the necklace, and we'll get to that in my book. I talk about that. But these appear together in the field together. Therefore, it's a type of communication. The reason they would appear together is because they're a part of a cipher. The communicator is trying to tell the communicatee that one symbol helps decode the other. So they're provided together. Again, communication. Again, communication. This one's a real simple one. You would simply add all the large spheres, multiply them against the smaller spheres, like I did in Anunnaki Homeworld. These provide actual calendrical dates. Sometimes you would divide them by how many lines are in the over pattern. Again, communication. Definitely communication. That's badass right there. Definitely communication. Yeah, fewer crop circles were needed. Far fewer crop circles were needed once communication was established. After communication was understood, 1996, it was verified, and there was an agreement in 1996. After that, all the crop circles, the frequency went all the way down. Yeah, the frequency went all the way down, but the complexity went all the way up. It's communication. Look at this. They're communicating something here. I don't know what it is. What is that, a COVID deal? So is this a computerized hexagonal graph defining some type of element tables or something? What would be in this code? I don't know, but they do. Yeah. Nobody communicates something this sophisticated if there isn't somebody receiving that message. That's the whole point of 1996. Once the receiver agreed to interpret the messages according to the cipher provided. Look, this is very complex. Look at the perimeter. These all have meaning. These are coordinates. These mean something. All this. And whoever the Adjustment Bureau is on the inside with us knows what this means. They've already decoded this. They got it all. Again, communication. Definitely communication. Do you see? This is almost like Mayan counting. In Mayan counting, one circle represents 1, but a bar represents 5. That's how the Maya counted. The single was a 1, and the bar is 5. So look at this. This is a single, a bar in a T-bar. It's different than a single in a bar. Do you see the difference? This one is a single and a bar, but this one over here is a single with a satellite above it and a bar, like a T-bar. That could be a figure of a man. I don't know, but some of them are different. Yeah, this is different than the other ones. See, this would be communication then. We've seen that one. Again, communication. You take the larger ones, multiply them against the smaller ones. Yeah, this complexity here, this might have been a part of the attention getting stuff, or it could be communication. This is really unusual here because this is like a terraformed map. No one's been able to explain this. This is in the middle of the crop circle formed this like a map. This means something to somebody. It literally created this topographical map inside. That's terrain. You're looking at terrain. Mountains, hills, a wall. Yeah, you're looking at terrain. Could be fake. Not everything's fake, but it could be fake. It does look small. Again, communication. The communication would be in here. Whatever this assemblage here means, because they're off kilter. They're not straight. It's not geometrically perfect. Oh, they kind of go zigzag, these spheres. This would mean something to somebody. Again, how do you interpret that? You really can't without the cipher. But look at this. Look at this. Did we not see this? Did we not see this as a satellite of another older crop pattern from the look at me period? Remember that when I showed it to you? I said, hey, look at that. This is the only one that's like it. It's got a little satellite over here. That's the little symbol that you saw in the perimeter. Again, no doubt this is communication. There is no doubt this is communication. And somebody's receiving it. Again, communication. Looks like something cyclical. We saw we're looking at the same one that shows 2046, but from a different perspective. It's a different angle of the camera. Everything's here, but Earth is not in the system. Earth is gone. And I'm telling you, that's the message. That's the main thing that somebody on the outside is communicating. Beware of 2040, but really, really, you need to prepare for 2046. This is communication because it's got these satellites over here. These satellites in juxtaposition with each other and the overall pattern are going to be some type of coordinates. And it's going to be a message that's going to be understood by whoever's on the inside of the construct receiving these messages. None of these agroglyphs and crop circles were ever complicated like this until there was an exchange of information in 1996. Look at this message. Radio towers. Radio towers. And this crop circle over here provides this schematic. What is being conveyed and how is it connected to radio? Is radio communication? There's a message here. We don't know what it is, but the Adjustment Bureau does. Again, communication. We don't know what these angles mean. Again, communication. We don't know what it means. See, there's even little nuances. Look at that. Little island right here. What does that mean? It means something to somebody. That's a cycle. And there are three objects traveling along this trajectory. There's one, and there's one. This is famous right here. This is famous. Now, I have a theory about this. First of all, I'm going to tell you now, extraterrestrials didn't do this. Aliens didn't do this. ET didn't do this. None of that shit. None of that shit. Theories are really good, but take it with a grain of salt. Based off all the reading and analysis that I've done on the agroglyphs, first of all, I'm not the one that decoded this, but anybody in the military could have done it because that's binary. That right there is binary. No one on the inside of the construct did this because they've already tested it. It's got the same chemical composition changes in the stalks. This is legit. There's several pictures of it. It's legit. But I'm going to tell you now, this is where I'm going to lose some of you. And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I get it. I've lost a lot of people over the years over different issues, and you know, people come back. But I'm going to lose some of you over this. This is evidence to me that there was an agreement between whoever's on the outside of the construct and those on the inside of the construct, that having the general population believe in the extraterrestrial psyop would be advantageous because it would provide them cover, able to move more freely than if the collective actually knew the truth. And so those on the inside communicated to whoever that is out there on the outside of the construct, okay, hey, you've been giving us all this information and we're doing that, but we're coming up with all kinds of plans. We're already building our underground cities. We've got so many underground facilities. We're going to take a large portion of the population with us, but there's still going to be people on the surface. I said, we've done everything as per your instructions. We understand the calendrics, but we're having a lot of, you know, there's just a lot of public blowback on different things, on different psyops and all that shit. We need you to do something. We need you to muddle the waters, throw smoke trails off and all that. We got other organizations and other governments now looking into these agroglyphs too. We don't need everybody knowing what you have conveyed to us. We need you to do something to muddle the waters, something that's going to make the whole crop circle deal look stupid. Look, absolutely, and get everybody to just dismiss it like, ah, man, okay, you had me up until this appeared. But this has been analyzed. It's legit. It was done. Absolutely legit. The binary here says, beware the bearers of false. Come on, man. False and their broken promises. Much pain, but still time. Believe there is good out there. We oppose deception. There's a better one than that. I'll find it in a minute. But what I'm saying is I've told you guys that I've seen evidence that, they really do make themselves look like a bunch of pedo, no good, sorry, child raping demons, our controllers. And I've also told you that there's something about all this that bothers me. Like, some of this is cover story. Some of this is thrown out there intentionally. If you really wanted to hide the Epstein shit, they would have hidden it from the public from the very beginning. There would have never been disclosure. So why disclose it? So it's almost as if that there are good guys way high up, but they're acting under cover of a nefarious mantle. I'm just throwing a theory out, guys. Like I tell you, man, I tell you what's on my mind. Because some things do not add up unless we add this extra element of, oh, okay, so there are people at the top that are good, but they got to pretend to be evil in order to get things done, in order to perpetuate, or you know, the general public. It's like Independence Day. They didn't tell the general public that no, not Independence Day, Armageddon. They didn't tell the public that a giant asteroid was coming, a meteorite was going to destroy the world until they had to. Until so many things are already going off. Yeah, so it's the same thing. Give the surface world something else to think about so we can get all our plans. So they're not paying attention when we go into museums and we take priceless works of art and we exchange them for forgeries. They're not paying attention that that we've gone to all these gigantic banks, and we have literally opened up the back of the bank vaults and emptied all these safety deposit boxes that we know people were holding all kinds of badass shit, and sequestered them into subterranean vaults. And when we shut a bank down, what we really did is went in there and we emptied that thing. We emptied it out, got all that jewelry, all these artifacts. People in bank safety deposit boxes, people have documents that are hundreds of years old. Yeah, people have all kinds of things. Jewelry, they got gold and silver bullion, they got priceless artifacts, they got all kinds of stuff. And believe me, that's one of the things that will be on the table. It's going to be on the table right before they start bedding down underground. Yeah, they're going to come up with a reason to lock down all the banks, and that's what they're going to be doing. You think that it's just locking down the banks. What they're really doing is emptying out millions of safety deposit boxes and taking all that shit down to the underworld. So this right here is communication. It encodes in fractal 3.1416. This is pi. This is communication too. Some of you will recognize this in some of the ancient megalithic art, these angles right here. This is pi. It's communication. Communication. There's an aerial view. This is the perfect agroglyph to throw off every serious researcher. It does two things. One, it throws off all the serious researchers, except for those that are just die hard because they know, and they've studied the chemicals. They know that, oh man, this is the same chemical deal, man. I said, dude, this is legit. So this is the perfect like smoke screen to throw off, throw people off of the agroglyph. And it's also the perfect one to fuel the bullshit psyops like Billy Carson and Forbidden Knowledge and Ancient Aliens and all those who ran with this and say, oh, and ET, man, there's two. All the Galactic Federation people love this agroglyph, because they're all falling for that paradigm of, oh man, there's good Pleiadians and there's good, whatever these different alien species are that are at war, and we're in the middle, and we have allies, and we have our galactic brothers, and we're all star seeds and all this bullshit. Yeah, man, this was the perfect psyop. It really was, but it's legit. It was done by whoever's on the outside, probably in response to a request by those of us on the inside that we need more time, and we need a smoke screen. We need to do something. We need to throw other governments off the trail that are now starting to look into these agroglyphs as well. Yeah, I couldn't believe I saw David Icke and Billy in a like 6 or 7 people were on the screen together. David Icke was one, and so was Billy Carson. I'm like, all right, whatever. I know a lot of people like David Icke, man, but you know what? The more I'm now, he's coming up into my feed lately, and I'm like, you know what, man, he's just cantankerous, moody old man, and you're pissed off at everybody waking up because they're not giving you credit for it. That's basically what it is. Everybody who rises up in the field who says something David Icke said 30 years ago, he's just mad at him, ranting and pissed because Tucker Carlson's now saying something that he's been saying for 30 years. Man, people are going to wake up, man. Can't get mad at the world forever, man, for people waking up. Yeah, man. So anyway, again, communication. Look at this. What do you think was conveyed with this? That looks like an instrument, a weapon. That looks like some type of, man, what do you think was conveyed with this? This is communication. This could never have been done until those on the inside had their shit together and they had the full cipher. What do you think that is? I'm going to tell you now, my interpretation, this device is the projector of the simulacrum, and it's projecting all these planetary motions. It's projecting everything we see in the sky, and and it comes out to us as information that we perceive as the world that we live in. I don't know. That's just my guess. My guess. This is telling me that my experience here is projected and not real. That is a device. That's a projector or a weapon. That's a device. But all this stuff is coming out of it. So it's generating all this information. This is a tool, a device generating all this information that looks like planets. It looks like moons. It looks like orbits, stars. And then it's reconfigured here in this area. However, these planets and orbital belts are really, when you really break them down, they're just information. That's my interpretation. Entirely subjective. Entirely subjective. This too is communication. This is communication. Communication. Look at this. What do you think? What date is this? Because this is a date. Those are coordinates. This is exactly where planets are going to be. This is exactly where planets are going to be. This is the easiest way for someone on the outside of the construct to tell people on the inside of the construct an exact date. I don't know what the question was. Somebody in the Adjustment Bureau conveyed the information to outside the construct. Once the question was conveyed, that was the answer. The answer is an actual date in the future. That is how you create a date for a response. That's it. Again, communication. We've seen that one from a different perspective. There's a new one. It's communication. Some of these look like convergent field symbols. Look at that. That's communication, because these are coordinates. These are absolute coordinates. Is this the Nemesis system? I don't know. But this would be an answer to a question. You can think of agroglyphs after 1996, 1997, and 1998. After that period, you can think of agroglyphs, these crop circles, as being responses from humans inside the construct that now have the language, and they're asking questions. It's like an oracle. It's like a big Delphic oracle, and the responses appear in our cornfields, in our wheat fields, and barley fields, and oats. This is how it's responding. It's like a giant Ouija board. I've showed this in my book, Anunnaki Homeworld. So here's how I interpret this. You see, it's a pyramid. Okay. A pyramid is the prime symbol on the Great Seal of the United States of America. The United States of America was formed out of 13 colonies. The 13 colonies were literally located in what the ancients considered the 13th portion of the world. The ancient Maya believed that the Americas were under the 13 heavens, over the 13 hells. And the Maya came from the 13 clans. The Mayan calendar, which is an ancient American calendar, was based off 13 Bactans. It is exactly 1,872,000 days, or turnings of the stars, divided by 13 periods called Bactans. Each Bactan is 144,000 days. So it ends in 2046. Remember, I got a book, Anunnaki Homeworld, where I show that 2012 was never the end of the Mayan long count. And my book, Anunnaki Homeworld, was published in 2011. It was written in 2009 and 2010. But I wanted to show the world, man, listen, 2012 is the wrong date. They miscalculated. The Mayan long count does not end in 2012. It ends in 2046. This symbol shows 13 pyramids right here. Therefore, this symbol is a calendrical symbol. Do you see how the circles are arrayed as incoming bolides, like comets? Yeah, North America to be destroyed, at a certain date. So what's the date? Let's look at my Anunnaki homeworld. I'll show you the date here in a minute. I'll show you how to interpret that crop circle. Communication. This is like the Mayan communication again. Definitely communication. This is a response. This is too complex to be a question. Therefore, the Adjustment Bureau, whoever they are, asked a certain question on how do we build, or what would the apparatus look like, or whatever. Or would you show us an actual template of how we lay out this Mercury board before we start adding all our circuitry to it? How would you lay it out? You understand? This is what was provided. Bam. This is a response. We've seen that one. Here's another good one. 2046. This one's 2046 too. More communication. There's a really good one of that projector. Look at that. Use the projectors up here. Look at that. Yeah, that's communication. That's definitely communication. Oh, I'm done. That's done. We're done with that. Good. Rolling. All right. So, Anunnaki homeworld it is. Let's go to my book from 2011. Let's check it out real quick. So I can show you. Let's crop circles. All right, share my screen. Yeah, I was on top of this when I was in prison. I was studying this when I was in the joint with a calculator, going through all this stuff because I knew something wasn't adding up. Extraterrestrials and aliens. I even knew back then ET could find all kinds of ways to communicate. Why is your communication restricted to agriglyphs? Why did the ancients use agriglyphs to communicate with the sky? WTF? So it only makes sense to me that we live in a construct and that it's an impassable barrier and that we can communicate through it, but we have to develop a language of communication first. Julia set July 7th, 1997. There it is right there. Until that time, it was one of the largest in the entire world. So there's all kinds of patterns here. The pattern for this one is divisible by 138. It's 4140. You guys know that is the cursed earth. In my 414 times 10, 4,140. It's a number also in the Great Pyramid, but it's divisible by 138. That's what this formula reveals here. But that's not the one we're going to talk about. There's the triple Julia set. There's phi. This is the Fibonacci spiral in the triple Julia set. That's a real popular one. Triple Julia set again. So there's the pointer formation. I just showed you a photograph of this one right here. The pointer formation. This is really cool too. It's associated to the Mayan long count. This is a comet coming at the end. So this is a timeline. You're looking at a timeline. Here's the beginning of the timeline. Then here's the whole cycle. And at the very end of the cycle, comet hits. Bam. Aruru's this is the Anunnaki necklace. Aruru's necklace. Got to read the books, guy. You got to read. Hey, you know what? I can be a salesman for a minute. I still have about 33 or 34 copies. I didn't mean to say 33. I got all these conspiracy nuts listening to me. I ain't trying. Listen, I'm not a Freemason. Matter of fact, I'm a convicted felon, and there's no way I could even be a Mason. I don't think. But anyway, I do have almost 35 copies of Anunnaki Homeworld. My bigger book, Return of the Fallen Ones, I got about 20 copies. And Nostradamus and the Planets of Apocalypse that break down the entire Mother Shipton prophecies about Phoenix and Nemesis X and all of Nostradamus' amazing drops and the Nostradamus cipher that was discovered by somebody else, the date index, all that. I have that book too. I got about 20 copies of that book too. But all the merchandise is gone. I've already sold all the hats, all everything. Everything's gone. I just got books and drives left. Okay, so these are, I'm not looking for these. We didn't even talk about the Milk Hill formation. I forgot. So in 2001, You know, you got the Julius set. Then you got the triple Julius set. In 2001, the most complex of all is the Milk Hill Formation right here. It is massive. Yeah, it's over 900 feet wide. It's like two triple Julius sets put together. Massive. I showed you a picture of it. There's another photograph of it right there. That's another photograph of it right there. Yeah, the number that it encodes is 2448. Uh-oh. What does that number mean? 2448. You guys have heard it. I got whole videos on it. You know, somebody down there tell me what the two interpretations. There is a material interpretation for the materium for the number 2448. In the materium, it means something else, and it was found in ancient Egypt. That's the meaning of 2448. The other meaning of 2448 is spiritual. Has everything to do with what happens to you in a conversions field. But that's not what I'm trying to show you. Oh, there it is. There it is. That's one of them. That's Milk Hill, Wiltshire, 1997, right there. 18 pyramidal perimeter points, 48 facets, 126 crop circle satellites. 126 minus 18 is 108. That's just that one right there. This one embodies the concept of 864, which is the foundation of time number. 864. You guys have seen that too. I've talked about that a whole lot. I'm not going. There's the double helix. The 1996 double helix formation. There's the planet. I thought I had a picture. I must not take. There it is. There it is. Okay, there it is. I do have it. I do have it. All right. So we'll go back to here. Here's the one where Earth is missing. This is 2046 right here. So crazy. It is so crazy. So what's beautiful, see, do you see this? This picture. Earth is missing. But that's just half of the message. The other half of the message is right here. The key to interpreting the time when Earth will be removed from its place is time itself. The asteroid belt consists of 52 clockwise circles and 13 counterclockwise circles. That's right here. That's this asteroid belt. Researchers realized that the circles were counterclockwise and clockwise, which is very unusual. These numbers being the denominators for the Mayan long count that ends in 2046. That's right. The asteroid belt consists of 52 clockwise circles. What is 52? I've told you many times in many presentations. In ancient America only, 52 was the calendar round. It is the most holy cycle in ancient America. 13 counterclockwise circles is a reference to 13 periods of time. 13 Bactons. 144,000 days times 13 is the full Mayan long count at 1,872,000 days. But 1,872,000 days from the beginning of the Mayan long count to the end is precisely 5,200 years. The calendar round times 100. Can't make this shit up. 52 times 360 is 1,872,000 days, which is perfectly divisible into 13 portions by the number 144,000. That's the Mayan long count, and it ends in 2046. So there's two different ways to interpret this. Earth is missing, and it's missing in 2046. Here's the Hatpin Hill, Wiltshire. Look at this. So easy. I told you about the 13 being the Great Seal of the United States that came out of 13 colonies, which is emblematic of the 13 clans of the Maya who believed that North America was under the 13 heavens over the 13 hells. And the Maya believed that time will collapse at the end of the 13th Bacton, which was their whole calendar. Real simple. It's all embodied in this crop circle right here that shows incoming like comet-like things right here. Crop formation is composed of 13 pyramids, 12 perimeter pyramids on a large pyramid, 33 large circles, 62 tiny circles. Simple formula, 33 times 62 is 2046. Over and over and over. These crop circles are easy to decode. They're almost all cylindrical. Oh, there's my book, Anunnaki Homeworld. I know, cover sucks. Deal with it. All right, let's see. That's it for that. Yeah, man. So, real quick, I still have some pretty interesting little video clips to show you, but we're going to take a 2-minute break, and you're going to listen to a song while I use the bathroom. That's what I'm about to do. I'm about to jump out of this chair because I've been drinking way too much coffee, and I might have threw a beer in there too. We're not done with this video, but we're going to listen. Well, we're going to listen to a song right now, and then we're going to come right back. If I can find these songs. Woo! I'll be right back.
A future framed in silver and gold.
Yeah, man. I go 4, 5, 6 hours easy. Never have to use the bathroom. I'll be damned. I've been drinking all day though. All right. So let's go to this next file. I lost about 200 and something people. That's okay. I've been losing people all my life. Form of communication. wonder if I do it this way. What a pain in the ass. What a pain in the ass StreamYard is sometimes. When you have a bunch of videos you want to show, it will not let you scroll through them and show each one. You got to exit the whole damn window, reopen. It sucks, man. It sucks. I know somebody's trying to teach me OBS. I just don't even have time to sit down and learn that. I guess my days are packed. I literally have to share each individual video in this window. It sucks. And they're not even, I should have threaded all these together, really. Here I am, still fucking up. Yeah, what a pain in the ass. Let's see. I'll just go to the window then. I have no idea why I'm not able to do this like I want to. I'm getting frustrated now. I have to click, I can't share my screen. I got to click on video file and then go actually find this damn file. Yeah, StreamYard does have it's only good for podcasting. It's not good for presentations. StreamYard sucks for presentations. Man, you know what? I'm just going to close everything out because it's fucking frustrating me now. Close all this shit out. All right. So I want to bring to your attention, I still want to show these videos because I was going to show them. All right, video file. Go to desktop. What is the name of the damn file that I'm looking for? 37 agroglyphs. Got it. All right. Find that. Then I have to go in there and find that. Oh my God. Just for 6-second little video clips. Doesn't even make any sense. Doesn't even make any sense. What is this? I don't even know what video this is. Oh man, this is old, man. Exit that. Get out of there. What a mood killer. I just totally killed the mood to this video by taking a bathroom break. Absolutely killed it. And came back out of resonance. Wow.
So what might these remarkable designs mean? Here are some two-dimensional versions that seem to be revealing the torus in 3D. And here is the vector equilibrium.
You could have missed me with all that horrible music. Oh my God. Let's see. Next video file. At least StreamYard goes right back into the next file, though. Something simple. Just gives you an idea of the complexity. I got a couple more to show. Then I got some more facts to drop on you. Look how small people are. Isn't that something? That little AI creation there. That's crazy. It's a real picture. Then they added this. Yeah, man. So bizarre. Here's a projector. Yeah, man. We don't know what that is. What am I getting this down pat? What's going on here? What happened all of a sudden? Look at that one again. All right. All right. So it's obvious. It's very obvious that after 1996, 1997, there had been some type of communication. There was an agreement, and the frequency of agroglyphs plummeted immediately, but their complexity, and not just geometrical patterns, now totally different forms of community, all kinds of different stuff went skyrocketed. So this is very compelling. But what's further compelling is that it was shortly after this, from the 2008 to 2013 period, the UK Ministry of Defense, it suddenly declassifies thousands of UFO, UAP files. So you would think that this is all about disclosure. I don't see things that way. The general public is happy that the United States releases information, and the UK releases information, and Germany releases, confidential documents, and everybody's like, oh, okay, they're admitting to UFOs, or admitting to extraterrestrials now. They're getting closer. To me, it's all psyop. To me, the release is to cover something else up, and it very well may be the communication with humans on the outside of the construct. If humans on the outside of the construct know exactly what's going on in here, if there's a rogue AI program like Roko's Basilisk that literally took over this construct and has been manipulating things to where somehow, some way, those humans on the outside of the construct have somehow lost motor control over phenomena on the inside of the construct because of like a rogue AI, then there would be warnings, and this is probably how they would do it. And there may be some really interesting information that the human family does possess, but they can't share it with everybody. If they shared it with everybody, it would neutralize whatever advantage we have. These are just ideas. I'm just bouncing ideas around, trying to make sense of everything that's going on. So the release of data like the UK Ministry of Defense in 2008 to 2013, releasing all these documents into the public sector, all it does is muddy the waters. It doesn't provide value. It provides misdirection. It also reinforces the whole crop circle deal as being ET, aliens and UFOs and all that shit. So let's see, 2017, the Pentagon followed, which publicly confirms the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. So the Pentagon actually admitting to creating a department called the Aerospace Threat Identification Program is very ominous, and it would automatically get you to think they're talking about UFOs when they might be talking about something else. That program may be doing something completely different. Remember, the skies there's always fallout coming from the skies, but it's not coming from where you think. It's not coming from space. In our case, we've showed that many times. All the strange things, even fossils, even frozen turtles have fallen straight out of the sky. All kinds of things. So they get you to believe that the Pentagon is talking about a program that's monitoring for ETs and maybe alien threats. And the reason they get you to think that, even though they never said that, is because at the exact same time, the U.S. Navy releases its UAP videos. And the internet gets flooded with all kinds of naval videos that show UAPs. The public will always connect dots that aren't even there. There may be no causal connections between the two, but they're released at the same time, so the public will be misled. Because the U.S. Navy is releasing all these documents showing UFOs, people automatically assume that the Pentagon's new program has something to do with threat assessments against UFOs, and it's not. It's something else about the sky that the Pentagon is really studying. So 2020, Pentagon establishes the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force. Remember, as I've been telling you over and over and over, the closer we get to 2040, the stranger the phenomena in the sky will be. Over and over and over, we're going to be experiencing some really weird shit happening with the sky. And as I recently told my Cypher and my underground communities, there's only one direction this is going. I'm just going to say it. We've always known that the alien card is the last card, but it's for a reason. Our controllers, they already know about the Phoenix phenomenon. They already know. If an ex-con from a Texas prison can discover all this in prison, just reading old books about the Phoenix phenomenon, the 138-year periodicity, and that the middle of the month of May of 2040 is the next target date, and it's going to be a third magnitude event. There's only 4 magnitudes, so third magnitude is pretty bad for whatever hemisphere it happens in. But this is there's no way they don't know this already. There's just no way. Therefore, they're going to claim, it's the only card they have, but they're going to claim that an extraterrestrial species is using a weapon to terraform our world. And when the Phoenix brings the vapor canopy, the public is going to be told, when all these vapor canopy changes start happening all over the world, that we're under attack from an extraterrestrial species, and they're trying to terraform our world into like a jungle vapor canopy reptilian type world where they fit in. When the real cover, it's a cover story though. The Phoenix phenomenon is a part of the construct. It's natural. The ice age vapor canopy periods, they switch out. We're in an ice age now, and we're about to go back into a vapor canopy world. And it's during the Nemesis X convergence fields, though, that these are, if something is not human, it can't disguise itself as human in a convergence field. If something is reptilian, and we already know the Nemesis X is a reptilian tertiary field. And it's why these chickens will start hatching velociraptors. Parthenogenetic changes all throughout the entire world will start happening. But even though this is natural, as we've shown in our KX, dinosaurs weren't even a long time ago. They're just dark ages. Every dark ages period is vapor canopy. Every vapor canopy is parthenogenetic, and every parthenogenetic period is nothing but amphibians and reptiles and avians and fish. All egg-laying creatures are hatching creatures that are not the creatures that laid the eggs. And it's because we're in a tertiary field, Nemesis X, and it lasts 60 years. And for 60 years, all these giant reptiles and giant amphibians and giant birds and wingless birds and earthworms and insects in the entire entomological world just explodes, and trees get gigantic, and plants get gigantic, and even humans grow. And it's ultraviolet light under the vapor canopy. It's ambient radiation from a whole bunch of volcanoes. It's a higher pressurized environment, and the world changes very fast. But in this change, they're going to tell us that aliens are trying to terraform our world. And when the Phoenix happens in May 2040, they're going to say it's a weapon. They're going to say extraterrestrials attacked our world, and that's why the sun went out. That's why the moon is now red as blood. All these rocks from the sky were actually directional, and they're a part of an extraterrestrial attack, and none of it's true. But that's how they're going to unify the survivors of the world together. National boundaries won't mean shit. Everybody's going to wear the same uniform. It's us against them now. It's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to do it because Nemesis X is 6.5 years after Phoenix. And when the closer Nemesis X gets, the more these reptilians cannot shapeshift. They cannot disguise themselves in public. Because when the Nemesis X tertiary field is here, they're at base vibrational rate. They are in their own home world field. And in that field, they cannot mask as something else. Only here where they do not belong. Yeah, it's crazy, guys. This is where we're going. Alien Invasion card is actually the cover story for the return of Phoenix and Nemesis X. You got it here first. Remember. All right. So in June 2021, the Director of National Intelligence releases the preliminary assessment, unidentified aerial phenomena, and President Obama comments on unknown objects in the sky. It's all by design. Every bit of it is by design. Yeah, man. So crazy. Every time the government or the military or a politician drops something, which is all psyop, about UAPs and UFOs and all this shit, we're in a controlled construct. Every time they do all this bullshit, man, it's Billy Carson gets up and does a special presentation. He's got to get up there. He's got to get there and talk about it, man. He's got to be the first. He's got to bring it to your attention, man, that aliens are real. E.T. phoned home. So dumb. So dumb. July 2023, congressional hearing with whistleblower David Grush, testifying on alleged non-human craft and biologics. It's all staged. Every bit of it is staged. Your takeaway from this video is very simple. The agroglyphs and crop circles have happened for a very long time. They're a form of communication. Somebody in 1996 realized that something was trying to communicate with us, and its only form of communication was creating patterns in serials. So they started studying it. Maybe it's a bunch of people. I'm calling them the Adjustment Bureau in this video. I don't know who they are, but whoever they are, by 1996, they were convinced something intelligent was trying to communicate, and its only form of communication was doing these agroglyphs, which we know as the orbs. Orbs were the ones doing it, which I'm telling you is just the phenomenal result, what we experience on the inside of a subjective reality of an outside technology. That's what the orbs appear. The orbs appear. That's how the orbs are to us. They appear as orbs, but they may be something totally different. Now, in the early 90s, whatever it was trying to communicate to us very carefully laid out the language. Somebody by 1996 realized what was going on and responded with questions and was basically requiring confidences. I believe one of the questions are, what are you? That would be one of the most natural questions. What are you? We understand we're at the top. We're at the top levels of intelligence, and we understand we're in a controlled environment. We understand that there's a firmament and it's impassable. We understand this. We haven't told the people. All the people believe in space, but we know. So, who are you? Did you build this? You know what I mean? Who are you to us? Do we have something to worry about? What confidences can you give us? The response was the double human helix DNA strand. Not once, but twice, and at the exact same time that the Julius set was provided. Such complexity to prove that this is indeed an interaction of community, and then reinforced 10 days later with a triple Julius set was absolutely amazing. No human could have ever done that in a wheat field. Impossible. So communication was established. Right after 1996, the type of crop circles changed completely. Now, they were directly doing communication. And it looks like all the crop circles are answers to inquiries. That's what they appear to me. They're so different now. Some of them are dates. Some of them are actual dates. The ones I showed you that showed 2046 and all that. Yeah, those were the responses to, hey man, okay, we understand. You're saying that another world will interface with ours, and there will be an exchange of creatures and plants. And this has happened before. And then there'd be an affirmative. Can you give us a date when this merging of worlds is going to happen? Again, can you give us a date? It gave two different crop circles, both of them in tone 2046, as I've shown. So that's my presentation. Something I've just been wanting to get this out for like a month. I've been talking about doing this video for a while, but you already know, man, I got so many bumps in my road. Never know when I'm gonna have time to do what. But we went real deep on these concepts in Cypher group yesterday, I believe. Yeah, yesterday. On Wednesday in the underground also. Yeah, we go, guys. Sometimes you guys on YouTube are the last ones to hear stuff because we've already covered these topics in the underground and on Cypher, but it's never anticipated. Those are unscripted conversations in Archaics Underground and in the Cypher group. They're unscripted because people come on screen with me in both of those communities, and I ain't no telling what people ask. And within the conversations we have, they just go in any direction whatsoever. So never know. But that's my presentation. Now I'm done. I don't even have to pee anymore. Done with that. So I do have some guests coming on the channel. I've already contacted them through X and messaging, and they're probably getting antsy with me because I haven't got back with them. I just, me, I'm always busy. So I'm gonna get with them, see which ones. I do want Rise Above on real soon, and Mark Atwood coming on. So I see I got a new member in green up here. Who is that? CC Garland. Welcome to the family, man. Yeah. Donna Marie Farrell, member for 41 months. Look at that, girl. I'm grateful too. I really am. Really am. It's been great. It's been a great month. It really has, even though I've been overtaxed. But I got some podcasts and interviews to do with people. Rise Above, definitely going to get them on. I got to show off things they gave me. We're going to be talking about Second Seal stuff. But you still have a really profound video about 2040 and its connection to the Ark. Remember my Ark video that was connected to the 2448 number, the number for Cataclysm in Egypt, and the number for Exodus in Spirit. 2448, attached to the Great Pyramid and the barks, the bark of millions of years. Well, there's a part 2 to that video where I go really deep on the Ark mathematics, showing you all the times in world history that something happened at the end of a 2040 year timeline. Yeah, 2040 for us is coming up. This is cross-calendrical parallels. I'm gonna blow your mind with that video too. That's gonna be my next presentation video. I don't know if it's my next video. My next video may be a podcast with somebody. But my next presentation video, it's all about Ark 2.0. Absolutely. So I'm gonna play the intro. I'm going to play the intro as my outro because it was such a good song. It's a brand new song. I've never played it before because I'm the king of conspiracy land. Love you guys.
I wear a tinfoil crown. It's shiny and bright, deflecting the beams from satellites. They won't read my mind, not tonight. The moon's just a lamp, the earth ain't round. They whisper my name, but they'll never track me down. I am the king of conspiracy.